Hey, welcome back to the Mark Moses Show. We are here at Suntree Country Club with the legend, Gene Deckerhoff, voice of the Noles and the Buccaneers. How you doing today, Gene?
I'm doing great. We're talking football in Melbourne, Florida, in the Space Coast of the great state of Florida, and it does get a whole lot better. Traveling with Coach Willie Taggart, I mean, we're talking to a lot of Seminoles all over the state, and there's a lot of enthusiasm about Florida State football, and we don't kick the ball off till September the 3rd.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. What do you think of Coach Taggart so far? He hasn't been here very long. What's your first impression?
I'll tell you this, if you're not running, you're not keeping up with him because he's full speed ahead. He was named the head coach at Florida State on December the 5th. He had to move his family, build a staff, recruit because of the early signing date. And then when the early signing date's over, get the family to Tallahassee, get that staff in place, go out and recruit again for the February letter of intent signing day. And then after that, get ready for spring football practice. He has not had a chance to really say, oh, man, I'm in Tallahassee, Florida. I'm the head coach of Florida State. He hit the ground running, and I think people appreciate, one, his enthusiasm, and two, it's I've never seen the Seminole Nation as enthusiastic about a coaching change in my life. 42 years ago, Bobby Bowden was named the head coach at Florida State. Jimbo Fisher came in as a coach in waiting, so you didn't have that one coach leaving, brand new coach coming in, and then now all of a sudden, 8 years after that, we have a brand new coach at Florida State. 41-year-old head coach, by the way, one of the youngest in college football.
Unbelievable. We're here with Gene Deckerhoff here at the Brevard Seminole Club event. We're going to be talking here in a second. I know you and Coach, you're going to be talking to all the Florida State fans. What did you take out of the spring game? I know practices can be closed. What did you take out of that game?
One thing I took out of that spring game is you're not going to see too many delay of game penalties on the Florida State Seminoles. Okay, I know this, that I keep a little running chart of the plays. You know, third down plays particularly. Third down and 7. You make a first down, a 10-yard pass completion. You know, Blackman to Auden Tate, for example. But while I'm writing that note down, I look up, all of another play's been snapped. So about 15 seconds between plays, and it's go, 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 go. It's going to be a high-paced Gulf Coast offense. I honestly believe Florida State has talented players that are talented enough to really run this offense and be very successful with it. Defensively, I don't know what Jimbo's staff did defensively last year, but for some reason, we just couldn't stop people on third down, and we had trouble doing that. But the defense this year is going to be what Willie Taggart says he wants: lethal simplicity. And that's those two words, he said, what's that mean, lethal simplicity?
You got to write it down, don't you?
What he wants players to do is play football. Don't think a whole lot. Just play football. Your God-given talent, go out there and tackle the guy. Go out there and force the turnover. And it also pertains to offense, too. Lethal simplicity. You're going to see a lot of different formations. You're going to see a lot of RPOs. You're going to see a lot of shotgun. You may see Cam Akers, Jacquez Patrick, and Amir Rasul in the backfield all at the same time. I mean, it's incredible what Willie has put into the offensive plan. And he's just starting now. You didn't install the whole offense. They'll get ready for that during the summer off season. You'll read the playbook and all that. And then come fall, I can't wait till toe hits leather we start this season against Virginia Tech.
Well, Gene, if I can ask you, quarterback position, is it up in the air? What's going on, man?
It is up in the air. DeAndre Francois suffered a knee injury against Alabama. He was taking snaps and working 7-on-7 some in spring, but did not participate in any real contact stuff. Okay, he did not play in the spring game. The other two, rising sophomore James Blackman and redshirt freshman Bailey Hockman, they took all the snaps in the spring game, and they look very. In fact, William Floyd, who I broadcast Florida State football games with for, let's say, I think this is our 10th year together. I've never heard his comment. Man, he said that left-handed kid can spin that football. William was very impressed about the way he threw the football, and running backs also impressed me. Running backs, Kalen LeBourne from up in Virginia. Nobody heard his name. He hadn't played. He was an early enrollee and did not play at all last year. And he may have been the most impressive player on offense in the spring. And then we had some young defensive players all of a sudden stand up too.
The ACC, you got Clemson constantly going to the playoff. You got Miami beating Florida State last year. How hard is this conference going to be coming up in 2018?
The conference is always going to be hard. I mean, let's face it, Clemson's been to 3 college football playoffs. I think only the SEC has a team that's been to 3 consecutive college football playoffs, and Clemson won the national championship. The year they won the championship, we were very close. It was a 3-point ball game in the fourth quarter at Clemson, and they just had they got one more touchdown than a field goal. They won, I believe they won by 13 in that ball game. And then last year we gave it our best, but we weren't in the league with Clemson. And I'll say this, the league is just as tough. This Florida State offense is going to be a lot different than last year's or the year before. This Florida State defense is going to be a lot different than it has been. And this Florida State team has a chance. I'm saying this in early May.
Yes,
this Florida State. Okay, here's a birthday wish. Noles win the ACC championship and play for the national title. Happy birthday to Gene.
I like it. He's always a spokesman. Can you give some love real quick to the basketball program, Leonard Hamilton? I thought they had an amazing run to the Elite Eight.
Well, talk about amazing runs. Florida State University had one player honored by the media and the coaches that cover the ACC, and that was an honorable mention. I mean, you got two first, second team, you got honorable mention, and we had one player named to the honorable mention All-ACC team, and yet we made it to the Elite Eight, and we're 5 points away from going to the Final Four. You got to tip your hat to Leonard Hamilton, 16th year as the head coach at Florida State. He'll be in his 17th year, another great recruiting class. Florida State basketball is right on the edge of doing some great things. Hey, I love doing basketball. I'm a college basketball fanatic.
I'm sorry to tell you, Gene, I'm one of those voters. Don't come after me here at the luncheon.
Terrence Mann was the only player that made that All-ACC thing, and rightfully so. I voted him second team, I'll be honest with you, and I voted a couple of other Seminoles second team, but we don't have as many votes as those Tobacco Road voters do in the ACC.
I understand. Let's end with this. We're the great Gene Deckerhoff. My friend over here, Eric De Niro, is the biggest Florida State fan ever. Do you have one question for Gene? You get on over here, buddy. He is your biggest fan. You got to go for it. What do you got?
How many points are we going to beat Florida by this year?
Let's see. It was, if I'm not mistaken, it was 33-22 last year. Was it not? 38-22. We won by 16. They should have never scored that last touchdown.
That's right.
It should have been 38-16. Come on now.
Yeah,
okay, now let me see. Now that's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 5 straight wins over Florida. And if I'm not mistaken, we were in Ocala earlier. They live in the shadow of the evil empire.
Yeah.
They live in the shadow, 42 miles north, and that is the 4th consecutive time Florida State's gone into Gainesville and won. And a remarkable feat that is. When you think back to the old days when Florida would win every game, the tide has turned. The Seminoles rule, and Florida State will beat the Gators by at least 22.
All right, write it down.
Write it down. And can
Happy birthday, Gene.
Thank you. That's another birthday. Happy birthday to me. Beat the Gators by 22.
And can we get a touchdown Eric De Niro, Florida State with the lead? Can we get that going?
Touchdown.
All right, we'll get.
That guy's never scored a touchdown in his life. Let me make this up. De Niro takes the handoff to the right side. 3, 2, 1. Touchdown FSU. Fire them candles. No. That's the bucket. Fire them candles. It's my birthday.
Thanks a lot, Gene. We appreciate all your help. All right.